Hello friends, today we are going to see the most exciting application, that is routing application using Leaflet. So here on the screen, if you see, I have a starting point at a Bangalore location and destination point at a Himachal Pradesh location, and system is giving me two different routes. One route is shown with a red color, that is primary route, and the other is alternate route shown with a blue color. At the same time, on the right hand side panel, there are two input boxes showing starting point at a Bangalore location and destination point at a Himachal Pradesh location. Along with that, it is showing that primary route is about 2486 km, which will take 30 hours for me to travel. And it is also showing me turn by turn route navigation. So like Google, it is showing turn right, turn left, even it is showing take roundabout exit, you can see over here. And as I move the cursor over here, it is also showing me indication on the route. So this is about primary route. What if I want to see the secondary route or alternate route? It is just below that. So I can either click here on the navigation panel, or I can simply click on the map. So let me click here. So now this route becomes a primary, and you can see the turn by turn navigation for that. Here my secondary route or alternate route is about 2471 km, which is less than earlier primary route, but it will take 31 hours due to certain road conditions. So this is how it is showing me navigation information. Now what if I want to change starting point or a destination points? There are multiple options. One way is to enter the starting point here. Say for example, I want to start my journey from Ahmedabad. So I will type Ahmedabad here and press enter. So my geocoding application will find Ahmedabad location. And then as I click here, you can see here the source or starting point has changed from Bangalore to Ahmedabad, and now system is showing me routing from Ahmedabad to Himachal Pradesh. Similarly, if I want to change the destination point, I can type down here. At the same time, I can simply drag the destination location from Ahmedabad to Kolkata, and system will reroute and show me the routes from Ahmedabad to Kolkata. Here it is showing primary route as well as alternate route. So isn't it exciting? It is such a user-friendly way to provide source and destination points. At the same time, if I want to go from Ahmedabad to Kolkata through Kota, so I can either add the in between points from here, or I simply have to click and drag and put a point here, say at Kota. So you can see it has added a point at Kota, and now entire route is showing from Ahmedabad to Kota and then Kolkata. So wherever I want to add intermediate points, I just have to click and drag and release the point wherever I want to keep the intermediate point. So if I want to have a destination between Ahmedabad and Kota, I have to drag from here, or else I have to drag from here. So for example, if I want to go from Kota to Kolkata through, for example, Patna, so here I just have to drag and drop here at Patna, and now it will reroute the application. Isn't it beautiful? It is such a user-friendly way to add in between points. There is one more way to change start point and end point. That is just by right clicking on the map. So rather than starting from Ahmedabad, if I want to start from Mumbai, I will just put a cursor at Mumbai, right click, and I would say start from here. So you can see it will change entire route from Mumbai to Kota to Patna to Kolkata. Similarly, if I want to change the destination point rather than Kolkata, if I want to have Cuttack, so I will right click and say go to here. So there are multiple ways to enter start point, end point, and a very user friendly way to enter intermediate points. So this is such an exciting, user friendly, and most useful routing application. So in today's session we will see how to develop this kind of application. I'm sure you are excited to have this kind of application in your WebGIS system. So let us see how to do it. So as you can see on the screen, I have created a routing folder in my GeoServer data directory and www folder. So this is the routing folder in which I'll be developing my application. Inside the routing folder, I have certain resources which will be required for me to support this application. So inside the resources, I have Leaflet folder which contains Leaflet JavaScript file and style libraries and certain supporting images that comes with Leaflet. On the other side, we have plugin. In that, I have geocoder plugin, context menu plugin, and routing machine plugin. So these are the three plugins I'll be using. So that's it. Inside my routing folder, I have resources and leaflet and plugins. So what I'll do is I'll just open this routing folder inside my Visual Code application. So as you can see, now my routing folder has opened inside the Visual Code application and it has got resources folder. Now what I'll do is I'll create three basic files for developing the applications. I have created these three files: index.html, main.js and style.css. Now let us go to index.html. So it has created a boilerplate for HTML file. I will change the title to Leaflet routing machine. And now, because we have certain resources here, I have to provide references to those resources in my application. I have provided references to my CSS files. Similarly, I have to provide references to my JavaScript files. So let me do that. I have provided references to my JavaScript file as well. Now I have to create an element, div element with ID as map. So that's it on the HTML part. Now we will look at the style size. Now you can see over here I have provided style for body as well as map elements because I want my map to fill the entire screen. So I am giving padding and margin as 0. For the map also I am giving 100% height and 100% width. So let me save this. Now we will go to JavaScript side. Here you can see I have provided basic code on JavaScript. So I'm basically creating a variable base layer and I'm using l.tile layer for creating the instance, and I am creating an instance for OpenStreetMap layer. So this is the variable for that. Here I am also creating a map variable and I am using l.map for creating the instance, and then I am providing certain input parameters like I am giving the center, latitude and longitude. I also want my map to be zoomed at 5 when I initialize the map. I do not want to see the zoom in zoom out controls which are default, so I am removing that by giving the false input, and then I am adding a layers, that is a base layer, nothing but a OSM layer. So I have configured my basic JavaScript file. So now my HTML file, style file and JavaScript file are ready for basic. Now what we should expect is my application should display OSM layer. So let me open the application. So I am opening the application from so it is opening the HTML files, and now you can see over here it is showing a basic OSM layer. Now let us go ahead. Now what we will do is we will add some routing dialog box over here. To add the routing facility, I have added a variable that is control, and I am using l.routing.control class to create the instance, and here I have to provide certain inputs. First input is a waypoint, that is my starting point and ending point. So this is my starting point, that is the latitude and longitude of Bangalore location, and this is my ending point, that is latitude and longitude of Himachal Pradesh. So this is the waypoint, one of the inputs. Second is I want the system to show alternative routes, so I am providing input as true, and if it is showing alternative route, by default it will show with the red color only, which will match with the primary route, but I want the alternative route to be shown with a different color, so I am giving that style option. So I want it to be shown with a blue with a white background and black outline. So this is the style for alternate route, and now I am adding this control to the map. So let me save this, and when we go to the application, Let me refresh over here. Let us see how it opens. So you can see it has added starting point and ending points to markers, and now it is showing the routes from Bangalore to Himachal Pradesh. Primary route with a red color, alternate route with a blue color, and here on the right hand side it has got navigation dialog box. So I can move the cursor over here and you can see on the map it is showing me with a blue dot, and turn by turn navigation, turn right, turn left, slide right, slide left, everything. It is also having alternate routes. So if I click over here, it will show me the navigation for alternate routes, and here alternate route is marked with red now. So this is how it is working perfectly fine. Now what we want to do is we want to have an input box over here, so that if I want to change the source and destination from this input box, I can do that. So let us add that input box over here. For adding input box, I simply have to place a comma and say this geocoder as an input, and it will use l.control.geocoder neonative as an input. So this is the line I have to add, and basically inside it is using this plugin, that is control.geocoder.js. Through that it is providing that functionality. So let me save it and let us go to the map. Let me refresh over here, and you can see now I have inputs, start point and end point, and now it is showing me the navigation. So now once these two boxes are added, I can now change the start point, say Ahmedabad, and when I press enter, it will perform the geocoding in the backend, and it is providing all the matching inputs. When I click any of them, my start point will change, and now automatically it will do the routing. Isn't it very easy? I think anybody can follow this guideline and add this kind of a functionality to the WebGIS application. Similarly, I can change the destination also. So if I change destination to Kolkata and press enter, you can see it is providing Kolkata as the input, and now source and destinations have changed. Now by default it is providing me the option to add in between point. So now if I just click here and drag it to New Delhi, my entire route will change from Ahmedabad to New Delhi to Kolkata, and you can see here there is one more entry, so Ahmedabad, so New Delhi to Kolkata. So it is a very useful functionality, but what I want is my start point should look green, end point should look red, and in between point should look yellow. So let us see how to do that. For adding this marker styling functionality, what I have to do is I have to provide one more parameter inside the control variable. So I'll just click here, and you can see I have added the code. This is the entire code for having a styled marker. So this is the code. So what I have done is I am providing a create marker parameter, and I am calling a function. That function is taking three inputs. I is basically the index of the marker or index of the waypoint. Waypoint is the in between points, and n is the total number of points in the route. So if it is just a source and destination, then n will be 2, I will be the index of the point, and waypoint is total number of points. So now you can see here I have defined an icon for start icon. So this is the icon for that. So I will be using green marker, so marker dash icon dot green dot png. So that is the marker I am using. So I am giving that URL. I am giving a shadow URL. I am setting the size of the icon, anchor, pop-up anchor, and shadow size. So basically these are all configuration for icon. So this is for start icon. Similarly for in between icon, I am setting it as a yellow, and for destination icon I am setting it as a red, and others are similar configuration parameters for setting the icon size and orientation. So I have given start icon, in between icon, and destination icon. Now I have to provide the logic. If I is equal to 0 means if index of the waypoint is 0, then I want to show start icon. If index is from 1 to n minus 1, that is the highest number of last marker, so it should show in between marker. and then if I is equal to n minus 1, then it should show destination marker. So this is the logic I have provided, and then now I am creating a marker variable, and then I am setting the parameter like it should be draggable, it should be bounce back, and it should have some duration while bouncing back. And basically I am setting the icon as a marker icon. This marker icon is coming from this logic, right? So for start point it will be green, for destination it will be red, and for in between points it will be yellow. So basically this is the function which will provide those functionality of styling the icon. So now let me save it and let me refresh it over here. So you can see a start icon is green, a destination icon is red, and then the other routing applications and this routing dialog box. So isn't it beautiful? Now what if I add some in between points? So let me add some in between points over here. So you can see automatically it has added a yellow because it is following my logic. This is I is equal to 0, this is I is equal to n minus 1, and these are in between points. So isn't it beautiful? So we are able to add this functionality to the WebGIS. Now the only thing that is remaining is adding a context menu. Let me see if I am able to drag this point and change the start and end points. Yes, I am able to drag this thing and I can change any start and end points, and you can see it is showing me the updated navigation. So I can drag and drop any of this marker. From where it is coming? It is coming from this particular configuration, draggable is equal to true. So we are able to do this thing. Now let us add a context menu over here. For adding the context menu, let me just scroll up and let us come here. Now from where the context menu functionality is coming, it is coming from this plugin, that is leaflet.contextmenu.js. So this JavaScript file is providing that functionality. So basically what I have to do is just press enter into this map variable configuration and add these parameters. So I am setting context menu is equal to true. Width of the context menu should be 140 pixels, and then context menu items, what it should show. It should show first item as start from here, second item go to here, and when I click that it should call this particular function, start here and go here. So we have to define what it should do in start here and go here. So let us define that. So I am adding some code over here. You can see it is a simple start here and go here function. Now when I start, it should take the control as a variable and then splice waypoints. So it should enter some waypoint at a 0 index, and this is the latitude and longitude. So that is what it should provide. It will take the e.latlong as a latitude and longitude, and so it will insert the start point. Similarly, it will take same e.latlong for providing the endpoints. The only thing that is changing is here I am adding start point as a 0 index, but here for adding the end point I have to take all the waypoints and then I have to insert the waypoint at the end. So this is what it is doing. So it is adding the waypoint at the end, so it will become the destination point. Now there is one issue. Here I am using the control variable first, but it is defined after that. So I have to copy this code. So I am removing this code from here and put it after the control variable. So I am putting this code over here so that control variable is available when I am calling it. So let me save it and let us go to the application. Let me refresh this. Now let me do right click here and see start here and go here available. Now if I click start here, you can see the start position has changed and entire routing has changed. I can also click the go here and my destination has changed and routing is also reflecting that. So excellent, everything is working fine so far. So what is left now? Let us see here in our application what is left. If I run the application, it should show me such a beautiful spinning animation when it is doing some processing at the backend. So you can see over here, if I change the source and destination, it is showing a spinner when it is doing some background activity. In our case, it is not showing the spinner as of now. So let us add that functionality so that we can have a spinner. To show the spinner, first of all, I'll go to index.html and I'm creating another div element with id loader. So I have created this div element. Now I will save this thing and I'll go to style.css, and here I will define how my loader should look like. So you can see the style parameter I have provided. I want it to be positioned absolute and I want it to be shown at the middle of the screen. So top is 50, left is 50, and I am giving some margin top and left so that it is perfectly at the center. I want it to be displayed on top always, so giving z index. And then these are the parameter for providing those colors. So blue, red, yellow and green, these are the colors it will show. And then width and height I am giving 50 pixels, and then this is the animation parameter. So it should basically spin every 2 seconds and then linear and infinite. So what it should happen in spin, it should transform from 0 to 100 and 0 degree to 360 degrees. So this is the spinning parameter. So I have configured my loader. Now when it should show the loader, not every time. So right now if I go to the application and if I just refresh it, it is showing me the loader. You can see it is showing me the spinner, but it is showing me every time. But I want to show it only when it is doing some processing. So let us go to the code and change that. Right now you can see it is showing every time. So this will remain always on the screen irrespective of background activity. So let us change that behavior. So I will go to the JavaScript. Now where I change the behavior, I will provide some configuration to this control parameter, control variable. So now let us come here. When I am adding the control to the map, before that I want to add these two lines. So you can see over here, when control is doing the routing application, when it is starting the routing, it should show the spinner. When it has completed the routing application, means it is finding the route or there is some error, it should hide the spinner. So basically spinner will show only when it is doing processing at the backend. But then I have to define those functions, show spinner and hide spinner. So let us do that. So here I have defined two functions, show spinner and hide spinner as per our requirement. It is doing nothing but setting the display parameter to block and none as per their functionality. But here it is using a variable spinner. So you can see over here, by default the spinner is true, and then it is using this variable. If the spinner is true, it should show the block. If the spinner is calling the hide spinner function, then it will set it to none. Let us see how it works. Now let me refresh this application. So it is doing the showing the spinner. Now when the routing is completed, you can see the spinner is hidden. Let me change the source and destination. Spinner is available and now it is hidden, but there is one issue. If I do the zoom in or some zoom out activity, you can see the spinner is showing. I don't want to show the spinner when it is doing zooming and zoom out, because otherwise it will remain there forever and it will not go. So I have to do some configuration in JavaScript. Let us do that. So I am adding two lines. So what I am doing is, when map starts zooming in, it should set spinner variable to false. So if the spinner variable is false, it will not show the spinner through this line. And when map has completed zoom activity, I am setting the spinner as true. So if the spinner is true and routing application starts, then only it will show the spinner. So it will solve our problem of showing the spinner every time I do zoom in and zoom out. So let me save it and let us go back to map, refresh it. Now it is showing the spinner when it is doing the routing. So routing is finished, so spinner is removed. Now if I move the source destination, it will show the spinner and it will hide the spinner when it is done. But let me zoom in Excellent. It is not showing the spinner when I am doing zooming and zoom out. It will show the spinner only when I am changing the source and destination and system is doing something in the background. Now it should hide. Excellent. Let me add some in between points, and now spinner is hidden when it has completed the routing backend processing. Excellent. It is working fine. So slowly and gradually we have added such an excellent beautiful functionality into our web mapping application. It is a routing application that everybody wants to have in their WebGIS application, and it is working perfectly fine. It is very much user friendly, and let me tell you, it is very much accurate also. I'm sure you are excited and want to add this functionality to your WebGIS, and I'll provide the source code for this. And if you follow my video line by line, and if you write along with me, you will be able to add this functionality to your WebGIS application. Thank you for your time. Keep watching, keep subscribing, and share with your friends and colleagues. I'll come out with more such exciting videos. Thank you.